faced their first bit of adversity this year. How do you think they handled it?
They didn't panic, which was good. It was very sloppy early on. We don't need to go into all the details other than just a whole lot of walks and a whole lot of standing around, and could have put a statue in the box and we might have lost there early on. But our guys, we settled in. Jaden Alba did a great job calming the waters. Offense wasn't stellar today. We got a bunch of base runners, but didn't do a great job of situational hitting, but we did enough to get it done. Took advantage. They had one mistake there on a PFP in the 8th, and we were able to take advantage of it. So, but we'll take the sweep, obviously. That's a great part, a great way to start the year. But there's some glaring stuff that we got to work on, clearly. So we'll get back to the drawing board and back to work tomorrow.
You mentioned that you didn't want to put a wet blanket on the win yesterday, but you felt like some guys needed to hear accountability and things like that, especially with runners in the scoring position. Do you feel like that resonated with the team based on how they played today?
I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not sure 100% there, but the one thing I was, again, proud of today is that we battled back. To your point, we had some adversity early. We didn't panic. We didn't fold. We showed a little bit of resiliency and fight. And I've talked to these guys at length just about good teams win on Sunday, good teams win late, and we were able to come back late and at least do enough to win this game. Again, it wasn't pretty, but found a way to win.
Coach, Easton obviously struggled a little bit in the beginning. What does it mean for your pitching staff to not give up a single earned run after? And there's four different arms coming after him?
Like I said, Jaden Alba did a heck of a job in coming in, and even he started off kind of a little shaky and out of the zone and not sharp, but he settled in great, gave us the length that we needed. Bucks did a good job coming in and getting outs, and that's his first outing. He wasn't overly sharp as well, and Fitzy came in. You can't say enough about the job he did, facing 3 out of 4 lefties there and getting them all out. And then Shafe's starting to settle into that back end role pretty well. So that was a great job by the bullpen. And Easton knows that. He just had a mulligan today, I guess. Hopefully, that's an outlier for him. Ball was coming out really good early. It just he was having a hard time finding the zone, and he'll get back to work. He'll be fine on his next one.
With that said, how important is Easton's success 1 month from now, 2 months from now, and an overall team goal and being able to perform on Sundays?
It's going to be huge. Not just him, but everybody's. A lot of guys got to get better. We put way too many free base runners on this weekend for my liking, and we can't keep doing that. We're going to get burned if we do that and make a habit of it. So that's one of the things that we have to clean up. But I'm confident Easton will bounce back from that and do much better his next outing.
Can you talk about Sean Fitzpatrick's journey? Obviously last year, but he struggled a little bit more. Now coming here, 3 strikeouts, struck out 3 batters out of the 4 he faced. Can you speak about his performance and what you've seen from him over the?
He was he's worked extremely hard this offseason and added some strength. The ball was coming out a little hotter than it normally does today. He was touching 92, 93. I think even someone said he even touched a 4 today. So not it's all about velo, but he was really ripping his slider in there too pretty well and keeping guys off balance. Ton of strikes. He was upset with himself on the walk, which after getting the 2 tough lefties out, and then he walks the leadoff guy, but he bounced back and got one of their better hitters out, the Lippe kid. The 2-hole got him out. So great job by him, and he got the lefty out yesterday too. So that's a huge. We need that with the amount of right-handers we have in our bullpen. Having him come out and be the lefty guy that you can count on to get left-handers out's big.
What can you say about Beckett so far? He had a really good summer and kind of going into the season knowing that it was a stacked left side of the infield, and so far 4 RBIs kind of comes up in a big at-bat like that. Kind of his impact so far this season?
He's been great. Beckett's he's one of those kids that's just a gamer. He's not going to come out and wow you with overwhelming athletic ability. He just plays baseball, and he's good at it. So, in that situation there in the 8th, we talked about it, and I bet on the kid, more than anything. Just, hadn't had a great day offensively, but you kind of, at some of those times, you just bet on the kid and what's inside, what's under the hood, kind of motors he got, and I'm like, this no-brainer. Just let him go. He'll figure out a way, hopefully, to get it done and put together a great at-bat, base hit up the middle, and it was big for him, big for us.
How do you feel that Brody's home run was able to kickstart momentum on offense today?
I mean, Briggsy's just overall energy kick-started us, so the homer was icing on the cake. He just, I mean, from an offensive standpoint, yeah, it got us rolling a little bit, but I just look what he did behind the plate. We were, guys were flat, and again, not to dwell on the walks, but when you walk that many guys early, you got a defense standing around like, okay, let's go. He never once wavered on his energy behind the dish. Did a great job blocking balls in the dirt. He was, at the end of the game, had some huge blocks with Buxton out there too, that 56-foot breaking balls that spiked, and he blocked them up and kept runners at their positions. So just a huge day for him, not only offensively but defensively.
Building off that, Cohen had a nice day yesterday, even down to Cooper, in that one inning, throwing that guy out. How important is it going to be for the catchers to, keep the performance up to be able to stay fresh with?
That's their job. That's what we expect of them. But we put a lot of expectations on our guys behind the plate, and they're rising up to it right now. A couple weeks ago, we had to, a reality talk with those guys that they needed to get better, quit thinking so much, and just react and be athletes back there. That they're pretty good athletes. So, Cohen did a great job yesterday. Briggsy did a great job both games. Cooper Klauser, what can you say, man? He knows his situation right now with a couple older guys in front of him, but is staying ready and got his opportunity yesterday to come in and made a huge, I told him today again, huge play yesterday, because we were rolling right there. We were starting to reel a little bit, and they were getting momentum, and we had a 9-run lead going into the 9th, and all of a sudden you blink your eyes and it's down to 6. They got a couple guys on base. And he makes a huge block and throw right there to kind of put out any fire, which was big. So, and then, I'm not going to forget about Tommy Brown, who's just, he's equally as talented back there. Great, huge, bright future for him as well. So I feel pretty good about our catching situation.
To deal with the adversity you did this early in the season, to be able to come out with a win, is that good for you as a coach to see the first series that you guys could come back from down 4 runs early in the game?
Yeah, it is. We didn't fold. I guess the biggest takeaway for me is that we got faced with that situation, and we didn't give in. We recognized that we didn't panic. We strung a few things together. Were we sharp throughout the game with that stuff when we had our opportunities? No, not at all. But didn't waver on it. We kept battling, kept grinding, and were able to, push enough runs across to get a win. And that's learning how to win is sometimes difficult, I guess. But in expecting to win, as we if we do get down early, expecting to win is kind of another acquired taste, I guess, if you will, as you kind of get going. You don't flinch, and when you get down, you don't flinch. You keep going, you keep battling, and our guys did that today. So that was a good thing, good takeaway from today's game.
You mentioned yesterday that you're happy but not satisfied. What more do you need to see, and for how long do you need to see it to become satisfied, if you ever are?
I won't be satisfied probably. I just if we ever get complacent and are happy with where we're at and not striving to get better, then you're only getting better, you're getting worse. There's no like we've arrived and now we can pull the parachute and just coast. We can never be in that situation. There are plenty of things we can get better at throughout this weekend. There was some sloppy baseball, but the positives are we're sitting here 3-0, which is great. I mean, it certainly could be worse than that from a win-loss standpoint, but you have to keep learning and growing as a team if you want to. We're going to continue to play really good programs as we move forward. If we want to compete and beat those guys, we have to clean things up.
Jeremy told us a little bit about Eli Buxton's offseason, the weight gain, the velocity that he was able to pick up. Kind of saw a glimpse of it today. What did you think of him, and then how impressed kind of were you with this offseason to be a contributor this year?
he wasn't. We've had a couple guys that haven't been as sharp as we wanted them to. Their first outing, but again, it's the first outing. Bucks was okay today, but he's been a lot sharper with his breaking stuff, and like I said, he kind of spiked several today. But in this spring so far, he's been lights out, and just it's the first time these guys have been put in a real game situation in next to 6-7 months. So it's been one of those things. Don't even start with the whole 6-7 thing. I know my kids are back there 6-7ing. 7 or 8 months versus 6 or 7 months. But we're first time the lights have come on for those guys, and so they're grinding through it, and there's these are 19 to 21-year-old kids that are going to have emotions that are heightened a little bit, and how we deal with that and calm them down a little bit is going to be key as we move forward. So, Halvey wasn't as sharp as he normally is. JB, same way. Bucks, these guys have experience, but the first time you get back out there in a while, it's the emotions can kind of get to you a little bit where you're not as sharp and don't trust your stuff as normal. So they'll settle in. I'm confident in what they're doing, but his off-season work has been outstanding. He's come back a ton stronger, throwing the ball harder. I look for, again, a big year out of Bucks as we move forward.
Do you anticipate getting some guys who maybe haven't seen the field yet in on Tuesday?
From which side of the ball?
Either or.
Well, we got pretty much most of the offensive roster in there at some capacity this weekend, minus a couple of freshmen that are chomping at the bit, of course. But some arms that we didn't get in this weekend that are very capable. Taylor Penn is a big one that we thought we'd get in this weekend and didn't. So we'll make sure he'll be in there on Tuesday, probably following Klecker at some point on Tuesday for sure. Need to get him in a game. And there's some other, Colby Guy, Nick Anello, those guys didn't see the field this weekend that have very, very good arms. So tribute to how deep we are, but on the same token, we're going to keep mixing guys in there and give them their opportunities when they're deserved and when they're earned.
What can you say about Dean Toyo's performance this weekend? Obviously, home run today, home run yesterday.
He's starting to get it going a little bit. I've seen Dean when he's really hot this fall, and he's not quite there yet, but starting to show some signs of life and a couple of homers. When you're not locked in yet and you hit a couple of homers and are still able to contribute the way he did this weekend, that's a good sign. I think he if you asked him, he'd probably say he's not locked in right now. He's hopefully starting to scratch the surface. That big at bat there in the 7th, I think, where we had runner on third, less than 2, chance to take the lead, and he swinging bunt out in front. That's almost money in the bank for him. I could almost ink it that we were scoring right there. And so when that doesn't happen, you're like, he's not quite locked in yet, but he's still able to contribute significantly.
They intentionally walked Landon twice today. How does that speak to his performance this weekend?
He's a great hitter. He's a great hitter, and figured they were probably going to do that in that situation. Runners on second and third with 2 outs, and obviously that's the right thing to do. Is walk that kid. I would have loved it if they would have pitched to him, but I was very confident in Beckett behind him. That he was, like I said, bet on the kid. I know bases loaded right there. I'm not betting on what he's done so far today. I'm betting on the fact that he's going to rise up in this situation, and he made me look good, I guess, on that one.
Multiple times, Omaha left runners in scoring position. Can you talk about the clutchness of your pitchers stepping up in that big moment?
Again, we're doing a good job on pitching our way out of trouble right now and not giving up big numbers, so to speak. I think we gave up a 3 spot there in the second. Other than that, I think we did give up one in the 9th yesterday, but we've been limiting damage. And again, when we start facing different teams down the road, we can't put ourselves in those type of situations over and over again and expect not to get burned we have to do a much better job of limiting base runners and not giving free passes. Again, I said I wouldn't beleaguer it, but having 9 walks today, I mean, that's old stuff. We're beyond that. We got to be better than that. So, and these they know it, but they'll continue to get better on it. But the free base runners, that's going to burn us if we keep living on that line.
Speaking of limiting runners, Derek came in the 9th inning, shut down against the heart of the order. What's it mean to have a guy like that that can really just shut down the heart of the order?
It's been that was a big question mark with us moving Carlone and Overbay, kind of on Friday there back to back. That was our one question mark that we had. We had one guy really with kind of some experience in that, and that was Shafe. So to have him step up and really embrace that role, and in talking to him, he enjoys it. He likes coming in and slamming the door and being that guy in the 8th and 9th inning to go be counted on to do it. So you can just tell his mound presence is phenomenal. He's out there chewing gum and got the gun in the holster and ready to go. It's fun to watch him compete.